Hello, everyone. So this class is on the importance of gratitude and why everything is really for the best, even though we don't really realize it. The story that I'm about to say is brought down in the Gemara tractate taanit 21a. So here we go. In the olden days, there was a very famous sage. His name was Nahum Ish Gamzu. And he was a person that believed that everything that happened in life was truly for the best. And he really lived that. So during that time period in Israel, the Caesar, he demanded a very high tax against the Jews. And they'd come once a month, and they'd bring, a whole bunch of wealth, gold, silver, pretty much jewels, to appease the Roman Caesar. The Jews at that time, they scrambled and they tried to find as much treasure as they could. And they're like, okay, we should send someone over to go and deliver this to the Caesar. So they decided to send Nahum Ish Gamzu because they're like, he's had a lot of miracles happen with him. So let's send him. And now this is a 2-day trip. So you couldn't just go straight over, within a couple hours and deliver the treasure chest filled with all these jewels to the kings in a matter of hours. No, it was a 2-day trip. So Nahum Ish Gamzu, he sets out on this trip, and he's going, and it reaches nightfall. He finds an inn, pays a small price for a room, and he goes to sleep that night. Now, the people in this inn were a bit wicked, and while he was asleep, they came in, and they took all the jewels from the treasure chest, all the gold, silver, everything that the Jews were able to scrap together to hand over to the Caesar, and they stole it, and they filled his treasure chest with just dirt and earth from their backyard. So Nahum Ish Gamzu, he wakes up, he continues on in his journey, and as he's going, he realizes, he's like, oh my God, this feels a bit weird. So he looks at it, and he sees that it's just earth, it's just dirt, and just earthly materials. And normally any person in life would just blame himself. He's like, I should have been more careful. I should have done a better job protecting the treasure chest. I got robbed. But Nahum Ish Gamzu, he was a man of faith, and he was a person that really believed that everything was for the best. So he tossed his logic out of the window, and he said, thank you. He's like, God, whatever you decide is the best. If I'm supposed to come to the Caesar with this dirt, then so be it. Then this too is for the best. So he continues on his journey. He gets to the Caesar's guard. The guards let him in. The Caesar's gate. Guards let him in. They bring him in to the Caesar, and he's like, thanks for bringing the tax. We appreciate all that you do. And he opens it up, and he sees it's dirt. He's like, what is this? Is this like a joke? What are you trying to pull off here? And he's like, no, this is what it is. So he's like, he throws him in prison, and he wants to carry out a decree against him and against the Jews. He's thinking with his advisors what they should do. And he's like, what? Whatever they decide, it's all for the best. At this point, a miracle happens. One of Elijah the prophet comes down disguised as one of his guards, and he comes up to the Caesar, and he's like, listen, these Jews aren't stupid. They wouldn't just give you dirt, I read in their book that their great-grandfather, Abraham, he took dirt from the ground, and he threw it, and he was able to chase away his enemies. The dirt turned into arrows. And he's like, maybe this is some of that special dirt that, that their great-grandfather Abraham used. So he's like, okay, this sounds really ridiculous, but, he sends a whole bunch of his guards, and he's like, okay, try to conquer the city that we've been trying to conquer for a while, and try using this dirt. So they go, and they try to conquer it, and lo and behold, turns into arrows. They're able to conquer the city. Their enemies start fleeing away, and they come back to the Caesar. They're like, you wouldn't believe it. This is a miraculous dirt. This isn't just normal dirt. This is like holy stuff. Like, we're able to win all these wars with this dirt. So, the Caesar was so impressed. He filled up multiple treasure chests filled with gold, silver, all this jewelry, and he sent a few of his guards with like a royal escort to take him back on a horse back to his hometown. And he was very welcomed and all that. But just imagine the best case scenario if he did make it there as originally planned. The best case scenario, the Caesar would be like, okay, cool, thanks for the jewelry, and come back next month with double or even the same amount. And they were struggling to even get to meet that demand. So I mean, this is a story where just by saying thank you, just by the person not even praying for the salvation, just relying on God and saying thank you, that Hashem, you're in charge and you know what's best, a person can see salvation. And that's a story on gratitude. Shabbat Shalom.